וישחור מצפון ועד תימן, אין קרן לו. אור זרוע לצדיק ולישרי לב שמחה. 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 את כל הכוכבים תמן, את הסהר עטף ישחור, מצפון ועד תימן, אין קרן לו. אור זרוע לצדיק ולישרי לב שמחה. אור זרוע לצדיק ולישרי לב שמחה. אור זרוע לצדיק ולישרי לב האור יזרח האור, האור, האור יזרח האור, האור, האור יזרח האור.
שוב העדן נוהר במלאות הכפר ועול באהבה בשביל העפר והחל מוצמת עם עלים מלווה את משך הסללים ערב בא, ערב בא. שוב הרוח בוחש בין קדרות גנים וצמרת הברוש ונמות יונים והחג הכתב בגאון עוד נושקות קרניים אחרונות ערב בא, ערב בא. שוב הוורד חולם חלומות בלט ופורחים כוכבים במרום הטל והחג בעמק האפל מלווה הקטנת בלב לעיר רע, לעיר רע, לעיר רע, לעיר רע.
This has felt like a very noisy week, just as most weeks have felt. So much which is difficult in the world around us, whether we are concerned about our energy bills, the cost of living, the war in Ukraine, so much which divides and others try to conquer our lives. On this Shabbat is a moment to refuse to let that happen, to create some quiet, some stillness in our lives. So I begin with a poem written by Hannah Bell in 1977. I was 7. She was writing in Los Angeles, and I wasn't so far away. She was writing about the image of Shekhinah, the feminine aspect of God, in her poem To Welcome the Sabbath. Perched on our shoulders, a colorful butterfly, you whisper into pores Shabbat's sweetness. We breathe you in, breathe the week out. Take in roundness, letting go of sharp angles. We breathe in the neshama yitera, the soul of the world to come. In awe, we sway, not march. As we kindle Shabbat candles, you glide into our dark corners, warming us, dissolving our dense bodies into light. Would you please rise? Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat shalom to you all. Please be seated. Thank you. And we turn over the page to welcome in the Sabbath bride.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharem, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Boachem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Balchoni leShalom, Balchoni leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeitechem leShalom, Zeitechem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Dodi lekrat kala, yalala, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, yalala, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha, ishmi'anu b'am yuchad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, v'shemo tiferet, v'li'tfilah. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, yalala, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, yalala, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat shel Shabbat lechu v'lecha, ki hi makor ha'beracha. Etem nefsucha sof ma'aseh, b'machshavah tefila. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, yalala, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, yalala, 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Itorari, likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabela lechadoti likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabela boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha hotzola tonei hamsegula boi hala lechadoti likram kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela lechadoti likram kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
A song for the day of Shabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר שמך העליון, ולזמר שמך העליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm, grow tall like the cedar of Lebanon. Planted in the house of the Eternal One, they shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bear fruit in old age. They shall ever be fresh and green, proclaiming that God is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Please rise.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
together. We
Praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness, and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening fall.
אהבת העולם, בית ישראל.
Please rise.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai, Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai, Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai, Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, ושבתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך.
אני אדוני, אני אדוני, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אני אדוני, אני אדוני, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. למען תזכרו מה עשיתם את כל מצוותיי. הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני, אני אדוני, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אני אדוני, אני אדוני, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני, אני אדוני, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אני אדוני, אני אדוני, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Please be seated.
All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly, we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together.
Oh, mi kamoha, ba'elim Adonai. Oh, mi kamoha, nehar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, osef eleh. Nora tehilot, osef eleh. Adonai nimlo leolam ba'ed.
V'ne'emar, ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim.
Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, aporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel.
standing before the eternal, standing between sitting in your home and walking along the way, between staying here and going there, anywhere. Before that, before doing anything, standing here. Hineni, here I am, now, in this moment, present, being, senses alert, listening, apprehending, waiting. And then my lips open, ancestors on my back, powers in my hands to destroy and create, to oppress and liberate, to wound and heal, to die and to live. In this sacred moment, I reach beyond myself to find myself, other selves, and you, and accept your gift of ceasing, relinquishing, pausing in this stillness. I reach within myself to draw out tears and thanks, hurts and fears, tumbling together with blessings. This strange concoction is enough. My cup overflows. Shalom, shalom, wholeness and peace. Would you please rise?
Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imachot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, למען שמו באחווה, מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Source of all, your vital energy sustains our world, redeeming it from lifelessness. The wind blows and the rain falls,
The sun shines and the dew descends. With love you sustain the living. With great compassion you embrace the dead in life. You are the support of the falling, the healing of the sick, and the release of the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of all strength? Who is your equal, mighty author of life and death, planting the seeds of redemption? Trusting in you, we see life beyond death. Blessed are you, Almighty, embracing the dead within life.
Kadosh atah v'nara shemecha, v'ein lanu Elohim beladecha.
Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם, ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת וינפש Shabbat vayinavash. Shabbat vayinavash. Shabbat vayinavash.
Our God and
God
God
of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. In your gracious love, eternal one, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, eternal one, the holiness of the Sabbath.
Ratzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amacha Yisrael, utfilatam be'ahava tikabel, utahil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, bi'yirah na'avod, modim anachnu lach, she'atah hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu, le'olam va'ed. Tzor chayenu magen ishenu, atah hu l'dor v'dor. Nodeh lecha u'nesaper tehilatecha, al chayenu hamasurim biyadecha, va'al nishmotenu habakodot lach, va'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu, va'al niflotecha v'tovotecha, shebachol eitz erev v'voker v'zoharayim. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha, v'lachana lohodot.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Yisrael. L'chol et
Tasim leolam, Tasim leolam, Tasim leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, Osei Hashalom. Shalom, Biroma, Yaseh, Shalom Aleinu, Be'akol, Yisrael, Be'akol, B'nei Adam. We turn to our concluding prayers, and for those who are remembering those who died in recent times or in times gone by, please feel free to post their names in the chat as well so that you can share them with all of us in our sanctuary in Northwards as well. Would you please rise? Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teiknu la liyotzeh bereshit, asher sam chelkeinu li'ached et shemo, v'gor aleinu la'chamlich malchuto.
On this day, let us dedicate ourselves anew to the task that our ancestors tried in all their higher moments to fulfill, to bring nearer a time when all your children will understand that they are brothers and sisters, so that, one in spirit and fellowship, they may be forever united before you. Then shall your sovereignty be established on earth, and the word of your prophet shall be fulfilled.
Adonai, Melech Adonai, Malach Adonai, Yimloch ve'olam va'ed.
remember those who died in recent days and those who died at this time of the year, in years gone by. And members of our community this Shabbat are remembering Alan Hirsch, the father of Rachel Rickeisen, and Michael Kaplan, the husband of Julie, father of Shelley Belson and Vanessa Isaacson. Zecher Tzadikim Livracha. May all that was dear and good in their lives endure always as a blessing and as a continual influence for good. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mavarach le'olam ulalmei amaya, yitbarach v'ishtabach v'yitpa'a v'tromam v'yitnaseh, v'tada v'talei v'talal shemei d'kudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Hosei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru Amen. Please be seated. Thank you. Before Christoph leaves the sanctuary, thank you to our caretaker, Christoph, who always on cue when he's in the house brings in the Kiddush. Thank you so much for your service of our community. And thank you so much for our singers who have beautified the service this evening and made it, as you are saying, a joy. That's what we aim it to be, a joy. And on this Shabbat, a quiet joy for us to be able to share a little bit of peace and wholeness together. And thank you to Abby for being the voice on the bima alongside me as well. Also thank you to Rabbi Eli Tikvasera, who provided the words in the center of this service that set the scene for our Amidah, Emeritus Rabbi of our Brighton Hove Progressive Synagogue, that for the first time as a rabbi are welcoming Gabriel Cantor-Weber over this Shabbat. We wish them Mazel Tov and many good years together. And Ellie is also an honorary member of the Ark Synagogue, and we look forward to the time when she can be also on this pulpit and preaching and reading and joining in with us, being a joy for this Shabbat. So we turn on to Maya Fair Hayom, which Richard and Aaron will catch us up with in a few moments on the slides.
Maya Fair Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fair Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fair Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fair Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
This moment of peace on Shabbat, as those at home are filling their Kiddush cups, those at home are celebrating new birth, Mazel Tov, Catherine, and those of us coming back into the country safely after traumatic journeys, Shabbat Shalom, Ali. Those who are recovering this week from illness, those of us who this service brings us peace in our hearts, those of us who are just happy to be together in peaceful community and to welcome the joy of Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Now, wine and juice is being handed round, and in a few moments the challah as well. We're delighted that those at home have already got filled goblets. Abby, I failed for you, I'm sorry. And I don't think you want whiskey, do you? No. If you'd like to rise, though, for us to make Kiddush together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'bratzon hitchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim to you all. And hopefully you have your challah at home as well, and we have it in our hands. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min ha'aretz. Shabbat Shalom to those of you on our live stream. If you wish to join our Kiddush Zoom room, please do. You'll find the link just at the foot of the screen right now.